Hello, this is Symphony Care Management coming to you today. Joan Harris, founder and care manager, and Kristine Callahan, wellness specialist and care manager at Symphony Care Management. We're coming to you today with summer safety tips for dementia caregivers. The timing right now with such heat waves happening is perfect to help you help your loved one and also for you as the caregiver to be safe in the summer heat. The types of things we're going to review today includes hydration and why it's so important, what to avoid, and then we're going to get into do's and don'ts, and we're going to help you organize a travel kit, the things to have with you so that you can be safe when you're out and about and be prepared for the unexpected, as well as wandering precautions. And a little bit about not just what to have with you when you're out, but what to do if you lose power and it's warm, the types of things you can put in place right now so you can be well prepared. So, welcome. We're really happy to be sharing this information with you. And we are going to have this as a YouTube video and also a list of what to include in your uh, summer safety kit, your survival kit on our website. And we also will be happy to put together these kits for you if you feel you need some help. We can shop and do that with you. So without saying any more, I would love Kristine to kick it off. And Kristine, first of all, tell a little bit about yourself and where you're located and just introduce yourself a little bit.
Thank you, Joan. So I am the care manager for Cape Cod, and I am the wellness specialist for all of Symphony. And what that means is that I help our clients with non-pharmacological interventions that help support their peace and comfort and enhance their quality of life. Everything that we do is about safety, quality of life, and making the best choices to increase the joy in their lives. And nothing's worse than not feeling good in the heat. So we put this special list together, and hopefully it's going to help anybody that's watching.
Wonderful. So let's kick it off and talk a little bit about um, why people who have a cognitive decline, cognitive impairment, are not able to really manage heat or report how they're feeling or
Sure.
take care of themselves when they're starting to get overheated. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So most people with a dementia, any type of dementia, they don't experience the same triggers in their body like we do when we feel we're hot, we're thirsty, or hungry. And what I mean by triggers is they don't have the same sensation. Their body isn't talking to them the same way. Their brain isn't interpreting the signals the same way to say, I'm thirsty, hungry, wet, I have a stomach ache, a headache, I don't feel right. Or by the time something does trigger for them, it's already gone beyond. So they don't experience the heat as much. And especially if they're on certain medications, sometimes they're not sweating the same way that we would necessarily. So they're not able to release that heat from their body. So it's even more important than ever that they're dressed appropriately. And we're going to get into that in one of the bullet points we're covering.
So let's thank you for all of that and let's talk about hydration. Tell us a little
Sure.
bit about what's needed.
I think that it can't be said enough that even on any regular day, but especially in the summer heat, to have a drink visible in front of your loved one and encourage it, because even if it is right in front of them at all times, they may still ignore it and don't feel the sensation to drink. So we may need to actually physically cue it or verbally cue for them to drink what's in front of them. And as often as possible, a non-caffeinated beverage so that it doesn't increase dehydration. Something like a water with some fruit in it, or a mix of fruit juice and water, like a cranberry juice 50-50 with water, or an electrolyte that you can buy an electrolyte water, or a powder that can be added to water that's kind of got a little fruit taste that has electrolytes in it. Those types of things, if you're struggling with getting them to drink as much as they need to, try watermelon and cucumbers, not necessarily together, but they are high water content. So they may like that as to eat their liquid that way instead of drinking it. That's a great snack. We're big on stainless steel travel, mugs that are small and a good size for someone to grip and take with them, because the beverages, once you leave to go outside, they will stay cold and they're easy to handle. Urinary tract infections this time of year, they are much easier to get in the heat. So it's really important. That's the other reason to focus on hydration. Some of the symptoms of heat exhaustion are very similar to the symptoms of a urinary tract infection. So it's good to pay attention to things like an increase in confusion, headache, nausea, dizziness, rapid pulse, a dry, hot skin. So not sweating, but a dry, hot skin. If you find that these symptoms have all come together, it's too late. You really should call 911 at that point and move them to a cool spot if you can. If they're disoriented, don't try to force fluids, but call 911 and have the EMTs come. This could be heat exhaustion or worse. You really want to have someone look at them and not try to manage it on your own. If you have the ability to put a cold cloth, cold towel, or a cold pack under the back of the neck, under the arms, that helps bring the body temperature down right away, but do not put them in a cold bath or anything drastic like that. So that's just a little tip. It could be heat exhaustion, it could be a urinary tract infection, could be any number of things, but in this heat, we want to really avoid, the risk. So.
Can I add something? I think sometimes our caregivers are so focused on their loved one who has dementia, they can also forget about themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
And so everything that we're saying is for everyone, whether and not just your loved one with dementia, because we see that a lot. Also, I have been told at the many numerous doctor's appointments we take our clients through that as we get older, we're not as thirsty.
Right.
So for anyone, they just don't realize how thirsty they are. So it really takes being very mindful during the summer that it just goes in the car with you or at home, it's in front of you, and everybody needs to drink.
Absolutely. A lot of clients limit it because they don't want to be getting up to go to the bathroom overnight, or mobility is a challenge. But, during waking hours, we really need to push the watery snacks or the fluids themselves.
Great.
Um, so we'll get into some things to avoid.
That sounds great.
All right. So one of the big things we all know, if you drink coffee or caffeinated tea, caffeinated beverages, that can cause dehydration. So in these heated months, we really, and anytime really, we want to limit the caffeine and limit alcohol that's going to cause dehydration. There are wonderful alcohol substitutes or alcohol-free beer and wine. And then you can mix, your decaf coffee with your regular coffee, kind of a 50-50 split, and just cut down and minimize the effects of the caffeine. Other things that we try to avoid, those peak sun and heat times, midday, anytime after 10 a.m. and before 3 p.m. are those really, really hottest times of day when the sun is at its highest peak. And so if you try to get out and about, travel in the earlier hours or in the later hours would be best. And that's when, you just want to not run the risk of having that extra amount of exposure.
Great. Really good advice. So let's talk about the travel kit. What are the things that people should take with them when they're heading out, and having a bag pre-packed, that is your bag for when you're out, what do you suggest?
Well, I get laughed at a bit for having my trunk filled with travel kits, but I'm a care manager. I have to be prepared. If I've got a client in my car, my side pocket of the car has, a nice deep pocket and it's got everything you could possibly imagine that's going to fit there, including soft snacks. But this travel kit should have, things like sunscreen and a nice hat for the sun, a lightweight, easy to tuck away hat. The beverages that we talked about would be in the car with you with some non-perishable snacks that are packed. If this person that you're caring for or yourself is going to need a dose of medication while you're out and about, and even if you think you might get home on time, if you get stuck in traffic or waiting at the doctor's office, bring the dose of medication with you. Good
Traffic,
travel
there's no
packs.
traffic on Cape Cod,
No
Kristine.
traffic, not in July, never. No.
Sorry, I had to say it.
Route 6 was closed today, just by
Well,
FYI, and by the way.
oh no.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, not at all. It's our reality down here. Good travel packs always, to me, should include hygiene products. If your loved one has any incontinence or if they spill things on themselves, having a change of clothes handy with the hygiene products, your cell phone fully charged and ready to go or plugged in the car. One of the things that's a little out of the box to put in your glove compartment, in the glove box, people don't realize that if you have a crisis, if you're the one who really can't advocate, something, God forbid, happens, any emergency professionals, the first place they're going to look in your car is the glove compartment. It's not just to look for your registration, although that's where they're going to get your name and information. But if you have what we give all of our clients, a vial of life, if you have your MOLST, even if it's a copy in white, still relevant, still legal and binding, it doesn't have to be on the hot pink paper to be used. These things, even copies of insurance cards or your healthcare proxy can be folded up in a bright colored envelope in your glove compartment labeled emergency information. And just having it in there, it doesn't take away from the fact that you're going to have it on your refrigerator inside the house. It's just a copy. It's an extra that is on the road with you. And that way, if you do go to a new medical provider, you've at least got all that stuff with you. But this is really for emergency personnel to know what's happening. You can, say on it, I am a caregiver, my loved one has dementia. And then they know their approach with that person has to be different. So that's a little bit of a safety rabbit hole for the travel kit, but there's lots of great things, including a first aid kit should be in your car anyway, not just for your summertime travel. And, extra things like a foldable chair that's lightweight or a foldable transport wheelchair, your walker or cane equipment, even if they don't think they're going to need it that day, something happens and they're feeling weak, they might need the assistive device.
Amazing. Any do's and don'ts? Anything that you would recommend that people not do or
Big,
always do?
big don't, even if it's just for a minute, don't leave your loved one in the car in the heat. We would do the same thing for our pets. We don't want to leave our loved ones in the car. It's just far too hot and risky. Lately, over the 4th of July here on Cape Cod, we had widespread power outages. The heat was extreme, not as bad as in Boston, but it was still extreme. And we had some, increase in the ERs and the all of the acute care centers, emergency, responses to increased car accidents, the extreme traffic. It's just a good thing to stay at home during those peak traffic times if you can, and plan accordingly.
Wonderful. So what I'd like to do now is Kristine and we're going to do a little show and tell. This is my travel bag that I have packed up, and this is what we just want to do a little show and tell, and then we're going to end with some home precautions. that you can take during the summer when you're a caregiver for someone who has dementia. So, first of all, I have a little camping chair. It's small, it's lightweight, it goes on your shoulder, and it is big enough that somebody can sit down. It holds quite a bit of weight. There is a wonderful palliative care nurse practitioner who takes it everywhere with her when she's visiting people, so she doesn't have to sit on someone's bed or there might not be a place in their home. And I thought, wow, that is perfect. It weighs nothing. This is easy to find online or at REI. In my bag, now I zipper the bag. So I like a zippered bag because then things don't spill all over the car. So you're going to laugh, but I'm going to pull out everything that
I
is
love this
in
bag.
the car. It's like the Mary Poppins bag, it's the never-ending bag. So first of all, Kristine talked about the emergency packet. This is what we do with our clients. And when COVID came, we did this at home as well. The Vial of Life form that has who to call first, who your doctors are, your diagnosis, your med list. The down and dirty gives the doctors in the ER, they know where you're at. The copy of the healthcare proxy. And the most form is the medical orders for life-sustaining treatment that Kristine held up, that pink form that you talk to your doctor about. So then wherever you are, no matter if you can speak for yourself or not, medical providers know what your wishes are in terms of treatment. So that's a whole different seminar we could do on advanced directives. But the more you can have here, it's very easy for people to see. Okay. What I picked up recently and I haven't used yet, it's an LED flashlight. It goes for about 140 hours, $6.99 at Sierra Trading Post. Feel like I'm on the shopping channel.
Rechargeable.
It's rechargeable. How great is that? How often do we turn on a flashlight in our house and it's dead and we're like, oh, now I have to go find batteries. Okay, this is my REI hat. It weighs nothing. Has sun protection, and I know it's kind of silly, but it's really comfortable. And I
It's cutie
go out
patootie.
walking every morning with this hat on because it gives me a little coverage in the back. That goes in my bag. This is a packet of the little fruity, um, the electrolytes that Kristine was talking about. You just open it up and put it in your water bottle, and it's not too fruity and it's not sweet, but it gives you those electrolytes. Here is my first aid kit. Now, this is a big one that I got at CVS. There's all sizes, but I really like having that as a care manager. You never know what might happen when we have clients in the car, and we like to be prepared. All right, we're getting there. I have a few more things. I have some undergarments, and I have wipes of all sizes, so that anyone needs anything, we're covered. We keep masks with us. And then I love these bottles because I am not these water bottles. I'm not a large person in stature and I don't have big hands. And like many of my clients, this is the perfect size. It's 14 ounces, Sierra Trading Post, $9.99. You could probably order them online. But what I think about for our clients is how nice to have an easy handle, and you don't even have to fill it up all the way if you're going to take a walk in the morning, if you don't want it to be too heavy. But if you're going out in the heat, and that button is so easy for people. So if you have arthritis and it's harder to twist, there are such good options. This one actually has also a flip. There's such good options, and these are aluminum and PBA free so that it's going to stay nice and cold. So they're great bottles for you to take with you. And I believe, oh, two other things. I have these little soft bites, give a little nutrition if somebody's feeling a little shaky and weak. These are banana chocolate chip oat bites. And last, this I found recently and haven't unpacked it yet, is a LED lantern camping fan. It weighs nothing. It takes three AA batteries. And so if you're stuck in traffic and it's hot and you're worried that your car's overheating, you have a little fan to put on both of you if you really can't be running your air conditioning. And it, as I said, it weighs almost nothing. So all of those things fit in my bag. And
Love the
I
bag.
feel so equipped for anything that's going to happen going out on the road with our clients. So I wanted to share that with you. Kristine, any closing comments about summer? And can you just add some suggestions for if people lose
Yes.
power and they're at home, how they can be prepared? We'll close with that.
So the wandering precautions are so important. And it all weaves into home safety. So I'll try to hit the highlights here for this. So even if your loved one has never left the house or the property, no one ever knows if there's going to be a first time or when it will be or what the trigger might be that the person wanders. So having a safe return bracelet, it's like a medical alert bracelet. It would be stainless steel. It has the caregiver information on it and phone number. We'll have a link for that. I think a safe return bracelet is a really smart idea any time of year. In your home, if someone's stuck in the home and starting to pace or feeling a little antsy, try to get up and walk with them. So having clear paths and room within the home to do a little bit of pacing, get some walking and movement in, maybe a little stretching, maybe a little chair dancing if they can't dance upright, just to release some of that agitation and energy from the body and hopefully minimize the risk of them really trying to seek an exit. Um, Check them for unmet needs. So they don't necessarily tell you that they have a stomach ache or headache or need to go to the bathroom or they've got some irritation in their digestion. So just automatically toileting, seeing what's going on, seeing if they need to use the toilet or just offering the snack or the beverage. For situations, where a person has had a history of wandering, we can always speak with someone about other safety protocols. We won't get into all of those now. Always have an up-to-date photo of your loved one handy, um, just to have their name, the contact information, their diagnosis for awareness for emergency personnel. I always tell clients to have one on file at your local, the closest police station and fire department, because if they did ever approach your loved one in a wandering episode or even just in your home, they know that their approach needs to be different for their diagnosis. So if you do take your loved one on vacation with you, and we deal with this all the time on Cape Cod, they're in an unfamiliar place. So they may have a greater anxiety and a tendency to want to get out and, go home, so to speak. Even if they've been to this particular summer place many times, remain vigilant and really be careful. A new setting, being strange to them, could provoke a wandering episode. Keep the home at a nice, cool, balanced temperature setting so you don't run the risk of then having to make up for it because the home became so hot while you were all at the beach. Closing the blinds and drapes and putting a fan on just isn't enough. If there's air conditioning, use it. And I will always say make sure your generator is up to date and working and has been serviced. So like we experienced here, with the high temperatures and the lack of power, it was a really risky time, even though it didn't last more than a day for most people. It's still relevant.
Thank you, Kristine. Great summer safety tips for dementia caregivers. I think when it comes to making the home safe for someone who is exit seeking, that is a whole nother seminar.
Yeah.
And I just want people to understand there are a lot of ways that we can assist with that. We do that all the time if somebody's goal is to age in place at home, but it's really important to take all the measures environmentally to make someone safe in their home, and we're happy to help with that. We hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable summer, and we will always be here to assist you with any and all of the things that we talked about today. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.